MedBix webcast is a new kind of healthcare media channel to break the silo mentality and foster interdisciplinary thinking. Our mission is to fill that gap and to create a curiosity through different lenses, tapping the passion that guided the historical figures in medicine and bringing present-day groundbreaking research to the front lines. We interview physicians and leaders in the industry about present-day healthcare challenges on our live programming. Hey, welcome to the MedBix webcast. This is Ramana Namaraju. I'm in the desert, 106 degrees, Fahrenheit. Right now the temperature here, 106 degrees Fahrenheit, unbelievably hot. Is just something is going on in the weather patterns. No question about that. It's serious stuff. So we need to take care of the planet. So I think I'm going to talk about that, a little bit about that actually, how the physics and sciences help in this one. I'm going to talk about the atomic bombs, and then how that nuclear winters, and then the heat that it generates. All those things we can talk about it, because recently there is a movie, Oppenheimer, released, a very blockbuster movie, Chris Nolan's movie. It's a very Nolan. He does famous movies, scientific movies, and that is one of the movies that is released, like Oppenheimer. You must see. It's very interesting movie. I did watch it, but 3 hours long. It is a really great movie. So actually, before that, I'm going to introduce you something we need to know, a little bit of anesthesiologist. This is the first anesthesiologist I'm interviewing first time, because on my podcast I did interview a lot of other people, but I never really did an anesthesiologist on my program. So anesthesiology is very interesting, field. It's interesting field means they're the kind of leaders in the surgical room. When you have a serious problem, when we have surgeries, they are the leaders in the surgical room. They control all the vital signs, what's going on, and what kind of a dosage you get, sleep medicine you get, what time you should wake up, and all those things. They monitor that. So this is nowadays there is a big buzz going on, is that the precision medicine or personalized medicine, but actually anesthesiologists are practicing this personalized medicine for a long time. For decades. In fact, they understand this game of personalized medicine, because they have to give the actual right amount of dosage for that patient, that particular patient. So, but without any further ado, let me introduce you Dr. Piyush Mathur. Is from, he went to the prestigious Armed Forces Institute Medical School in Pune. It's a very prestigious school. He went to medical school there. Then he's an anesthesiologist, practicing anesthesiologist in Cleveland Clinic, another prestigious institution. Let me bring Dr. Mathur to this. Welcome, Dr. Mathur. Welcome to the MedBix webcast. Dr. Mathur, I don't know what happened. He's disappeared. Is Dr. Mathur? Is something happened? Please rejoin. I tell him. I need to see this technology, this hot weather. Everything is a problem now. Sorry, guys. This happens. I used to lose my mind, but not anymore. It's part of the technology. Okay. So he joined with us. Okay, that's good. Let me bring him back. Dr. Mathur, tell me about your background, your educational background, and your professional background a little bit, and your journey from India to here.
Yeah, thank you very much, and I'm honored to be here. My educational background, as you had mentioned previously, I started with my medical school training in India from the prestigious Armed Forces Medical College, which instilled not just the knowledge regarding medicine, but also the discipline that came from the Army. So I think that was a great start for me. And then subsequently, I decided to learn more about the field of anesthesiology and critical care. I did my residency partly in India, and then followed it up in at the Cleveland Clinic. And then after that, I did do another fellowship training in critical care. Uh, I've been practicing both anesthesiology and critical care since 2005, 2006. And a few years ago, I also did a fellowship in quality improvement from the Cleveland Clinic. So that's been my educational journey. And in the recent years, I've been training in various aspects of computer science and artificial intelligence.
You know that when you said that quality control, I didn't know that there is a fellowship in quality control. What kind of a quality controls do you do in anesthesiology? If just for our information.
Yeah, that's a great question. So it wasn't the quality fellowship that I did was from the Cleveland Clinic, and it wasn't just specifically for anesthesiology. It was for healthcare in general. I've been the quality improvement officer for Anesthesiology Institute, and I wanted to gain additional skills in quality management. So that was the reason for me to pursue that, and I was honored to be selected for that. Uh, there are various aspects of quality improvement that are there that were part of my training. Say, for example, patient safety, risk management, quality improvement, continuous improvement, accreditation. So there are multiple aspects of healthcare quality that I learned from some of the leaders over here and elsewhere.
You are also did a critical care medicine fellowship. You said usually pulmonologists, I see a lot of them doing a critical care. I never seen too many anesthesiologists doing critical care. Why you think that you needed that to you have that fellowship in the critical care?
Yes, I was intrigued by the care of sick patients, and I wanted to make sure that I'm skilled and I'm not afraid of taking care of these sick patients. And I thought that that training would equip me with the skills that I need and the knowledge that I need to take care of the sickest. It also helps me practice in a more holistic manner so that I'm not just taking care of patients in the operating room, I'm taking care of them throughout their perioperative journey. Starting in the operating room, then if they get sick, I'm there to rescue them in the ICU or provide them with optimal care in the ICU too. So I get a more holistic view of these patients and I'm able to apply the knowledge and the skills that I've acquired from each side and work with so many different members of healthcare in the hospital that it truly enriches me every single day.
Very interesting. You know that you said that discipline you learned from armored forces medical school, the military medical school. That's where that is really useful in anesthesiology, particularly in the surgical room. You need to communications, quality control, all those things. You need to follow a choreography, a particular dance you have to perform to do the surgery. That discipline is extremely important. Do you think it's very useful that discipline that you did in the military side?
Yeah, absolutely. In all aspects of life. So one of the things that I still do is to wake up at 4:30 in the morning, and I think that started from my med school days over there. And that gives me that time and the opportunity in the morning to work on certain aspects that I want to prioritize. And of course, in the operating room, managing the patient, just like you said, being a team lead in various aspects, not just the operating room, but also in the ICU. I think it definitely helps focus. It helps you understand how to use your resources appropriately and also work as a team.
Yeah, this is a really a combination of, and also important is a communication, right? And
That's right.
communication
That's right.
is the important protocol besides the quality control and all those other things, technology. So, I wanted to ask you, in anesthesiology, when you are implementing these electronic medical records, EPIC, and all the other systems, what are the challenges you faced, particularly in anesthesiology, in the ICU, and in the ICU rooms and anesthesiology? That must be very stressful because that is in real time going on. And what are the things that how do you protect the patient's health at the same time managing the implementing these huge, humongous enterprise systems in healthcare?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think that's one of the key differentiators amongst the different physician groups. So anesthesiologists are one of the few physicians who are technically very savvy with uh, with all the equipment, medications, and they're very hands-on compared to many other healthcare specialties. A lot of physicians in other groups, they might order medications. We actually administer medications. We don't just order medications, we administer those medications.
Correct.
So we know the pharmacology, we understand how to administer it, and then if there is a problem, then we know how to rescue or solve that problem. Similarly, when we are dealing with devices, unlike many other physicians, we are actually very hands-on with these devices. Now, whether it's a smart pump that we are manipulating, or the complex anesthesia machine that we are managing, or the electronic health record where we are charting, we are doing all these things hands-on in real time. So yes, I think it's a very challenging environment and a very time-sensitive environment for us. But I think our training is exceptional there, and I think it's a self-selected group too in many ways. It's like a select group that goes into this specialty who
Mhm.
knows that they are going to be doing this, and then they get further training in that.
They get this.
And if you think about it, there are many of the healthcare specialties that are adopting technology that the anesthesiology as a specialty adopted 2 decades ago. I'll give you a very simple example: checklist. Checklists came into anesthesiology for checking the anesthesia machine in 1970s. Checklists started getting adopted in the rest of the healthcare in around 2000s or so. Not only did we adopt checklists in 1970s to make sure that our anesthesia machines work appropriately, but we also automated it. So now the machines do the automated check to make sure that they are going to be functioning okay. So we use technology to our advantage, and we have been doing this safely for the longest time period. It's one of the safest healthcare specialties, despite taking care of the sickest of the patients and despite managing them in real time.
You mentioned a checklist. There is another Indian physician wrote a checklist for the surgery room, all surgical
That's right.
procedures. Is already the anesthesiologists are quite familiar with the checklist. They are
That's
already,
right.
said decades ago, including the precision medicine, personalized medicine. They need to understand that, how the constant watching that patient vital signs. You need to administer right on the spot at that time. In the real time, you have to react right. So
That's right.
you're really administering the real time medicine and personalized medicine and the real time. That's the most challenging. I wanted to ask you, so the main thing is you put the patients in sleep and wake them up in time. This is one of the toughest challenges sometimes. Are there any instances that they don't go to bed easier, they don't go to sleep, or don't wake up fast? It is that pressure for you? Is that it adds an enormous pressure to the anesthesiologist?
Yeah, I know that's a great question, and I think that's where personalizing the dosing of different medications, titrating those medications to effect to see how the patients are doing, and then administering different groups of medications to the patients, which is personalized as per their plan, is very very important. So that's where we come up with the plan that here is a patient who has some unique conditions or has certain conditions, and I'm going to decide which medications I'm going to use, how much dose I'm going to give, how I'm going to titrate it. All those considerations go in as we decide to administer the anesthetic and then manage the patient throughout the surgery.
Do you think this is the burden that you have as an anesthesiologist with the new technologies like a closed loop technology can solve some of these problems and then and and assist you better, or is it going to replace your job? Which one is going to be true?
Yeah, I'm not concerned about anything replacing our job. I think we are very skilled physicians. It might change the nature of our job, and I think that we are seeing happen over time period. So anesthesiologists to begin with, you think about, or most of the people think they are just in the operating room. But take my example. I work in the ICU. I work on the regular nursing floors as part of rapid response team. So our anesthesiology group covers pretty much the entire hospital. Some anesthesiologists are pain management specialists, so they take care of chronic pain outside of ICU. So anesthesiology is actually a pretty broad field. It's not just somebody who puts patients to sleep or wakes them up. Now, in terms of
So a lot of anesthesiologists get into pain medicine fellowships. So because that
that's
is a
right,
very natural extension of that, you also did a critical care medicine. It's just a lot of things. Anesthesiologists are leaders of all the multidisciplinary field. A little bit, they have to be
that's right.
familiar with a lot of fields. So I wanted to ask you. Oh yeah, I'm going to present the topic. He's going to rejoin again. He's having a little bit of a problem, little bit in general. That technology is still, yeah, he joined the back, and I'm going to we should pull him back. I'm going to present Dr. Mathur. I'm going to present to this topic. It is a, it is a, the somewhat the, I don't know how to get rid of this background, but I design, I think, a background, uh, captions. Okay, anyway, sometimes this is a little bit of a, yeah. Okay. Anyway, that is a background. Is a little bit of funny background I have. Sometimes happens. I do without any. This is some of the things. Yeah. No, I can't change anything. But let me proceed in this one direction. I'm going to present a topic on quantum computers in the healthcare system. Dr. Mathur is a very active in the technology side, quality control he does. He is very familiar with the computers. But this is an beyond. The next step is going up in the what is the quantum computers, what they do in healthcare. I'm going to talk about that. That's not only it's not a futuristic medicine, it's very close. We are very close to the quantum computer, realizing the quantum computer in the real life. Okay, so there is a there is a movie, as I said, that playing right now. Oppenheimer movie is a physicist. He said that when he blasted, he was the father of the atomic bomb. Then once when that was first time went off, the atomic bomb went off. He said that now I am a became death, the destroyer of the worlds. Is a quote by, he says that the Oppenheimer mentioned the Bhagavad Gita inside. So let us talk about that a little bit. Let me Good versus evil. Quantum computers is the extraordinary computational power. It encompasses the extraordinary computational power. It can bring a lot of good things for us, which is the human. It can reduce the human suffering. It can find the cures for the chronic diseases, the fatal diseases like cancer. It can improve our quality of life. Quantum computers can do that. That is a quantum nature of that's a fundamental atomic scale. Fundamental particles can do that. The science of the fundamental particles can do that. In the same thing, it can also inflict human suffering through atomic bombs. You can like we already witnessed it, that human Nagasaki and Hiroshima, the atom bombs that created a lot of misery to the people, and the nuclear winters it created, and thousands of people died, and the millions suffered. So it can create a good things and bad things. This human suffering at the fundamental level, the atoms can do that. That's the power of an atom. So what I'm going to talk about, that is a chat GPT. Now you talk about AI, artificial intelligence. You combine that with the power of the quantum computing. It is just a deadly combo. You can use it for good, you can use it for bad. We got to watch out. That combos are very dangerous combo. Artificial intelligence and the quantum computing, it's just extraordinary powers, godly powers you get it. That is one of the things we got to watch it. So that we need to watch the next step of, we need to have some regulations regarding that process. But I'm going to tell you why Robert Oppenheimer, physicist from in the 1930s, that said that this word, because the so much immense power, immense energy embedded in that small granular atom, and when you break up, it produces enormous energy, following the principle of Albert Einstein law, E is equal to mc square. That I'm going to play a video of Robert Oppenheimer talking about Bhagavad Gita, about the immense power of the atomic things. I'm going to do that. Just watch it, please.
We knew the world would not be the same. Few people laughed. Few people cried. Most people were silent. I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death."
जलप्रवाहपावितस्थले गलेवलम्ब्य लम्बिताम्बुजङ्गतुङ्गमालिकां नमट्टमट्टमट्टमन्निनादमट्टमर्वयं चकार चण्डताण्डवं तनोतु नः शिवं 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 शिवं.
The Hindu religion is the only one of the world's great faiths dedicated to the idea that the cosmos itself undergoes an immense, indeed an infinite, number of death is but the dream of the god, who, after 100 Brahma years, dissolves himself into a dreamless sleep, and the universe dissolves with him. Until, after another Brahma century, he stirs, recomposes himself, and begins again to dream the great cosmic lotus dream.
Quantum physicist and philosopher David Bohm was profoundly affected by his close contacts with both Einstein and J. Krishnamurti.
Totalitarian regimes are constantly doing that, saying everything is wonderful. So it has become more dangerous because of the scale of our society and because of technology. That we have all sorts of dangers, such as nuclear war, biological war, chemical war, destruction of nature. And probably we can think of 4 or 5 others which are brought about by our power. You see, now, the greater power we have, the greater we need coherence. The question, to my mind, is the human being capable of dealing with this situation?
Dham saranam gacchami. Buddham saranam gacchami. Dhammam.
So that is the immense power the atom contains. That's why he's talking about Vishnu and the Bhagavad Gita. I'm not promoting religion here. The reason I mentioned that is Bhagavad Gita was played a role in when the first time the atom bomb went off and in the testing time, and then Robert Oppenheimer was talking about Bhagavad Gita. He says that why that we have such a awesome responsibilities, that we need to take care of this immense power is on our hands, blowing up the planet million times through the atomic power, or we can save lives through the quantum computers. That quantum computers both are the same spectrum. In fact, the one end of the spectrum is of atom bombs, other end of the spectrum is the quantum computers, in my view. So quantum physics they used to call quantum physics is a Jewish science, because 1930s electron could be in 2 places same time. That is like a funny counterintuitive thought. 2 places or multiple places. Electron is a particle or wave or both, or observer, but just observing the atomic particles, the fundamental particles, you can change the outcome. These are all counterintuitive ideas. It's like a voodoo science for a lot of people, classical physicists particularly. So they called it Jewish science. They didn't want to believe this quantum science is real. They thought it's a voodoo science. It's kind of a Jewish science. They used to derogatory way. They used to call it Jewish science. But in fact, quantum physics came with a much more with a vengeance and proved beyond the doubt. And every time it went correct 23 decimal points, it went to all the quantum physics proved to be true in every way. So quantum royalty, Oppenheimer, and that's Niels Bohr from Denmark, and Robert Oppenheimer from California, and then Richard Feynman is from New Jersey, and then Enrico Fermi from Italian physicist. They used to be called quantum royalty, but the two American physicists, Robert Oppenheimer and Richard Feynman, are the two physicists. I did already talk about Robert Oppenheimer. Both these two guys are very party kind of guys. They loved women. So these two guys are kind of a fun-loving physicist. That Robert Oppenheimer, he was doing a father of the Manhattan Project. That's what the atomic bomb, atom bomb was tested. That where Richard Feynman was used to work with him in the Manhattan Project. But anyway, the Richard Feynman went on different things. He became a faculty member, but he was a Caltech, a professor in Caltech, and then he used to go to a strip club called Giannoni Club in near Pasadena. He was going there, a Giannoni Club. Then he used to go frequently visit that club. So he is kind of a party guy. As I said, he was born in 1980. As you see, is a 1950s. He's going to strip clubs. He used to write all these physics equations on the drink mats on the bar drink mats. That he used to write scribble all his equations, all his quantum physics equations. They're now sold $5 million in auction. Can you believe that? His scribbles went for $5 million in auction. Oh, that's I wanted to bring Dr. Piyush Mathur. Let me bring him. I don't. Yeah, let me. We had to. Yeah, now I can see both of us. We can watch together. So Feynman lectures are very famous. Big Bang Theory was one of the popular series on television, and then they always frequently mentioned Richard Feynman lectures that you must watch. They are available online. He talks about very simple way, very easy way to understand the gravity and other things. It's very interesting. But it is a if you see all the radiation is all of them are light waves, basically the different frequencies, X-rays and then gamma rays. They're all light waves. They're light. Basically, they're part of the electromagnetic spectrum. Only thing is difference is the wave is a wavelength, the vibrations, the number of vibrations per second. That's all it is. Different is no different. They're all same photons. In the way it's called radiation because the radiation is the electromagnetic spectrum radiation. It goes from gamma rays all the way to the radio waves. In between all of them, visible spectrum is a part of the inside between. So CAT scan X-rays, for example, is a part of the electromagnetic spectrum. Gamma rays is much more higher wavelength. Then in the middle we are, visible wavelength is in the middle. The infrared we cannot see, radio waves and microwaves we cannot see. So these are the things that only a small spectrum of electromagnetic radiation we can able to see. So X-rays and gamma rays are also part of the electromagnetic spectrum, or the other end of the one end of the spectrum. That's where you use to treat cancer or diagnosing, treating cancers, all those things that we do X-rays, we need those radiation things. So what Feynman did was quantum electrodynamics is how the matter interacts with the light. Matter produces the radiation, and it interacts with the bodies and produces another radiation. So matter produces the radiation hits the bodies and then produces another kind of radiation. So is a cyclic process, and then we can see that the way it does that, this is called quantum electrodynamics. That is really discovered by he is the father of that quantum electrodynamics. He is the Richard Feynman. So basically what it is, if you take an incident light and hit it the atom, it can knock off the electron when you are put in the higher orbit. So the changing in the orbits can cause that radiation can come out. Either if you hit it fast, much more with the strength, then it gives you gamma rays. It gives you with the lighter strength, the output energy is much easier, lighter. In those cases, it is only that X-rays and then visible spectrum they can come. That's why you could able to see you could able to see the light. The reason is that the electromagnetic radiation, that's a part of the quantum electrodynamics. You know, the Richard Feynman won the Nobel Prize for this childlike diagrams. That looks like a color pencil diagrams, but he won the Nobel Prize for that. It gives you the perfect description of the nature, how the light interacts with the matter. So not only him, that's along with him, Shinichiro Tominaga and Julian Schwinger, the three were awarded in the 1965 Nobel Prize for their quantum electrodynamics, how the light interacts with the matter, interacts with the light. That is the holy grail basis for the radiation physics and the radiation or medicine. But I want to talk about that. Feynman lectures. What he wants to do is actually he wrote several books on computers. He wants to simulate the quantum computers on the classical computer. That's not possible. He realized that it is not possible. He wants to simulate quantum computers to the classical computer on the classical computer, and then he realized it is not possible. What is quantum computer? I'm going to explain to you. There is a big holy grail is going on, a huge competition going on for the quantum computing. As IBM, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Intel, they're fighting to the tooth and nail to get this top spot for the quantum computers. It can change the world, change the way we live in the quantum computers. The holy grail of computing is based on that. All these companies are trying to race towards finding a quantum computer working model of quantum computer. There are quantum computers are already there, but it's a very experimental stage. I just give you some brief idea how fast the quantum computers are. Laptop is it is 100. The quantum computer is 100 million times faster than laptop. 100 million times. It can handle the everyday 5 million laptop data without any problem. 5 million laptops it can handle in a second. That is the power of the quantum computing. So, for example, quantum computers can do why we need a quantum computers. It can really solve the problem of chronic diseases that we don't know the exact mechanisms, or even some mechanisms we know, but we don't know the cure yet. So because of vaccines, we need the vaccines that we went through a pandemic. We need a quantum computers to really spit out in days rather than years to find out the medicines or the vaccine. The drug discovery, like the protein folding is a very complex mechanism. So the quantum computers can do. It can take in a classical computer takes 10,000 years. It can do in a half a day on a quantum computer. That is the power of the quantum computing. So what the IBM came up with a brief white paper. What is a quantum computers can do? It says that diagnostics, we are having a 5 to 20% of the errors coming out of the diagnostics, that we can reduce that quite a bit with the quantum computers. That's what it says. IBM white paper says that, so that quantum diagnostic side, we can reduce the errors, drastically reduce the medical errors and diagnostic errors. The second one is precision medicine, that Dr. Mathur was talking about it, how the precision medicine, they are adopting the anesthesiology, they are adopting for a long time, including the closed loop technology. These are precision medicine you can do with the quantum computers, can compute all the factors, multi factors in a billionth of a second, billionth of a second. It can do that and then gives you the right dosage and all those things. That's the power of the quantum computing. Insurance premium it can reduce. I'm not sure that I believe in that. I believe in that is not the quantum computer is not stopping insurance companies to reduce the premium. That's the different issue. They're trying to find an excuse for that quantum computer. They need a quantum computer to reduce the premiums. But yeah. But what is a quantum computer? A lot of people ask me, what is a quantum computer? I wanted to explain to you very the layman's term. If you have a maze, if you have a mouse and a cheese, on one end of them is a mouse, other end is a cheese, and then how the mouse finds the cheese. What it does is it does in the classical system, it does a series of steps. It goes one, hit the wall, come back, try again, come back, try again, keep on trying until it succeeds and go and find the cheese. That is a classical computers do. Trial and error method it does. A series of steps it takes, that is a classical computer. In a quantum computer, it goes strange, very strange. This is just an explanation. You don't take it literally. It is to understand it much easier. I made it easier. So the mouse split into ghost mouses, millions of ghost mouses. It produces all the ghost mouses. They become a ghost. All the number of become they become quite a number of ghosts, and then they travel to the cheese on all possible paths same time and reach the cheese at the time and pick up the and found out the distance, the direct path, come back and fix that time, fix that path. You understand? It becomes splits into ghost, the go maze, and it travels and creates all possible paths. It travels in all possible paths to the cheese, and then fix that shortest distance. That is the one which is direct path. It fixes it, come back in time, and go to that directly. That is the crudest explanation I can give for the classical versus quantum computers. That is what it is. That's a very fascinating way it does compute. It is actually it is one of the powerful features of the quantum computers is that it's not a parallel processing. It is a processing all at the same time. It is just our human mind is a counterintuitive thought. So quantum computers, to understand the quantum computers, you need to understand the two phenomena. Anybody says quantum, you need to understand the two characteristics of the quantum, two things. Quantum behavior you will witness in the lot of small particles, microparticles, fundamental particles, electrons, protons, neutrons, molecules. That's some of the cells exhibit this quantum behavior. So there is a two aspects of the quantum physics that, very broadly speaking, is a quantum entanglement and quantum superposition. Quantum entanglement is, I can give you a general idea. This is if the two twins, they were born and they separated apart and they can feel each other even after somebody's feeling the pain, other person feels the pain too. So they say that at least it's a kind of a similar kind of a feeling. That is a quantum entanglement is a two twins born in the same place, and then they deported to different places and they live in the different parts of the world. Still they can communicate through different mechanism. We don't understand it. That's what they say, at least. That's what that is the quantum entanglement is a kind of a description of that. The next question is a superposition. It is only Hindu religion explains this. That's why I did talk about Hindu religion here. In this, Lord Shiva is embedded as a half man and half woman. Is a Parvati. His wife Parvati is embedded as Parvati, a woman and a man. That's very commonly we pray in India too for that duality. It is a superimposed. It's not like a mix. They're superimposed. They're all together. That is superimposition. I cannot explain to you more than that. At this time that the religious aspect of it, but it is a very similar to quantum imposition. Yeah. Quantum entanglement is a non. What is a quantum entanglement? Quantum entanglement is a non-local. That is one of the aspects of the quantum computers. It does work on the quantum entanglement. It's a non-local means when as I spoke with about the twins, when the two particles go separately for long distances, and then they can affect each other even a billion miles away from each other. They can affect each other. That is a strange. We still don't understand why, how it does that, but it does. So, for example, the one particle spin is down, other particle spin is up, other particle spin. Whoever looks at it, that they affect each other. It's a non-local. It is proved beyond the doubt. It is experimentally proved. and that they last year they got the Nobel Prize. Three people, Elion Aspect, the other two got the from California. The three physicists got the Nobel Prize. Anton Dellinger, and third one is from here, John, I think, John Walker. I remember the name, but they all won the Nobel Prize last year for the quantum entanglement experiment. They proved it beyond the doubt that quantum entanglement is real. That means two things can affect each other even billions of miles away without any no known communication. They're not talking to each other. They don't send a telephone. There is no communication. There is no signal going between them, but they are affecting each other in a very strange way. That is called quantum entanglement. Is a non-locality effect. The next one is, I'm going to get some water. It's a very, very hot here, 106 degrees. Next one is the second part. Whenever people talk about quantum physics, you need to remember entanglement and superposition. Second one. What is superposition? So you have a child. Your child takes a, you're hurry in the morning, but your child is a naughty boy. He takes your shoe, one of the shoes you put in one of the boxes, and he takes the other shoe in a second box. So you know that he is playing a trick on you. He wants to confuse you. So you go and open the box number one. You found the left shoe. Then you know automatically on the box number two you have a right shoe. You don't have to guess it. You know that for a fact. If it is a left shoe in the box number one, the right shoe is the right shoe is going to be box number two. That is automatically understood. That is a correlation. That is not a superposition. What is superposition says that you got to be paying attention here. What it says that until it opens, it does not assume either left or it is a both left foot and right foot same time. That means you have no input inside which way to go, either left foot or right foot. It assumes one of the left foot or right foot. It assumes one of them. So you have no input from your side. It is simply that is the way nature works. It takes one of the positions, so when you have number one, is it picks up the left foot. When you open it, only the moment before you open it, before observation, just a moment of observation, it assumes either left foot or right foot. And if it is left foot, the other one is right foot. In the number two box is a number right foot. If it's left, you have no input inside. You cannot tell which one is going to be assuming which foot is going to be coming in. That is a superposition. It's a kind of a magical. It assumes, superposition assumes it's a one. You have no input inside, but that is what the superposition does. These two aspects govern the quantum world. So what is the quantum as a qubit? It is a 1 and 0 are the same. They work in they are actually 0 and, in the digital classical bit, the digital computer, you have a 0 and 1. They're separate. They either light is on, light is off. In the qubit, 0 and 1, either they are combined them together. If you want to find out a light switch, whether this light switch is connected to that particular light, you have to on and off. You got to do it twice. In quantum computer, you don't have to do it twice. That's only one position is enough to tell you whether it's on or off. That's the power of the quantum computers. So the next one is quantum biology. Now you talk about it in medicine now. Though nature found now there's a new kind of field is coming up. It's called quantum biology. It is very strange field. It's a very, very is emerging field. It's not a speculative, very, very a lot of peer-reviewed papers coming up. So nature found a sub-base system because a quantum phenomena happens in a micro level, is a micro particles in the fundamental level particles in the very low temperatures, minus 273 0 Kelvin, minus 273 degrees centigrade Celsius. It happens. The quantum phenomena happens close to the absolute zero. But they found out, the nature found a subway system, a shortcut. Even though our bodies are higher temperature, we can exhibit a quantum phenomena. A quantum tunneling process is called a quantum tunneling. Instead of going around the hill, you tunnel through the whole process and go the other side, shortest way. That is quantum tunneling. So our human bodies found a way, subway system, to exhibit the quantum phenomena. So one of the other one is called plants. For example, the dumb plants. The think Jagadish Chandra Bose from India, Calcutta, talked about plants and the electricity. Plants exhibit one of the most high order of computational complexity. It does a photosynthesis. It changes the carbon dioxide to the oxygen. So when you do that, it is actually goes through a process, a computational process, photosynthesis. In fact, it the exon that is go through a quantum phenomena. That's what they're saying is photosynthesis go through a quantum phenomena to reach the. It's not enough time to reach the exon or the complexity to make a carbon dioxide to oxygen. There's not enough time in a classical physics, through classical physics. You have to do quantum phenomena. It does exhibit a quantum phenomena through the photosynthesis, and then do that. For example, I will give you one example of that photosynthesis. So plants exhibit a high level of complexity of quantum computation, though the other one is quantum sight. So, for example, we are thinking about it. Our eyes are thick because are able to see Dr. Mathur, because I could see the light is falling on him and coming back to me. So there's reflection, right? So my eyes, that once it is falling on my retina, it goes to electrical signal, it goes back all the way to the back of the occipital lobe, visual cortex, and interpretation. There is nothing there. It's not, you don't see the images there. But the efficiency of this quantum sight, the way fast I can see Dr. Mathur and I can register my back of my visual cortex so fast. He says that actually solar battery works in that way. The Albert Einstein got Nobel Prize for that photosynthesis invention, discovery. He got photosynthesis discovery. He got the Nobel Prize, not for his theory of relativity, not for E equal to mc square. He won the Nobel Prize for photosynthesis. What is that is when the light falls on the electric plate, it produces electricity. That's what he did. So when the light falls on our retina, produces electrical signal and goes back and we interpret in the backside in a visual cortex. So what he's saying is the efficiency of the solar battery is only 50%. Our eyes are 100%, almost 98% efficient. More efficient than solar battery. Why is that? The scientists are puzzled. What they found out is very strange way they found out is that in the quantum phenomena, the light in the eyes that go through quantum phenomena. So, for example, the particles go, then at the signal, the photon travels in all possible paths. What I said, and all the signal travels on all possible paths, go to the visual cortex, fix the shortest distance, come back and do that same thing. That we are exhibiting quantum phenomena. That is what in the sight itself. So we have a quantum sight. This is one of the theories are coming out, emerging in the quantum phenomena we are exhibiting in the biology. The next one is the quantum breathing. Carbonic acid, I'm not a doctor, but Dr. Mathur can explain better. He's a critical care medicine doctor also. In a quantum, in the carbonic acid, unless you have an enzymes, my understanding is only 0.01 per second we can eliminate, disperse our carbon dioxide molecule, or we can disperse points if there is no enzymes. Because of the enzymes, we do 100,000 per second. So we need enzymes. The enzymes work on a very strange, sometimes they exhibit the quantum phenomena. One of the enzymes that you do is ACE inhibitors, the use of blood pressure medications. Judith Kliman from University of Berkeley, she won the Nobel Prize also, and then she won the honor of in the White House with Obama. In fact, she was honored. So she was one of the preeminent researcher in the in the enzyme physics, in the enzyme phenomena, quantum phenomena of enzymes, that she contributed quite a bit. So our enzymes in our body exhibit a quantum phenomena, quantum tunneling process. It cheats the nature. It's a counterintuitive thoughts. It exhibits the quantum phenomena in the body. So quantum breathing. So now we are quantum smell. Our quantum entanglement. It's a lot of people cannot tell the difference between the northern Italian wines and versus southern Italian wines. But a lot of humans can distinguish these two smells. But only we have 400 receptors in the nose, but we can recognize up to 10,000 smells. That puzzled the scientists. What they found out is the quantum entanglement. What is that vibrational rotational spectrum of the entanglement in the quantum tunneling can do add additional numbers, and you can recognize the more smells through that process of the quantum entanglement process, quantum tunneling, quantum entanglement, whatever the process is, that it works in the quantum smell. It's a we are exhibiting a lot of quantum phenomena in our bodies. The next one is oh, the next one is I'm almost done, Dr. Mathur. The next one is anesthesiologist. I wanted to introduce you. Very the Dr. Stout Hammeroff, Dr. Piyush Mother is anesthesiologist. I want to talk about. He introduced the mind, quantum mind. He is anesthesiologist because anesthesiologists understand mind because they're putting them to sleep. What is sleep? What is a? Is a sleep is a the anesthesiologist play God in a sense that between the sleep and the death, between the waking up and the death is in between. They are the playing the gods there. So Dr. Stout Amaroff is an anesthesiologist. He did what he did, what he proposed is that our mind exhibits a quantum phenomena in the through the microtubules in the quantum phenomena. That is I did another session on that one. I can talk about that hours and hours, but not now. But he did the quantum tubules in the microtubules in the neuron in the cells of the neuron. You can do that. They can do so. Anirban Bandyopadhyaya from India is a scientist from Japan, and the Stout Amaroff and the Sir Roger Penrose from England is a mathematician, mathematical physicist. They all together came up with the idea and they proved it experimentally that our mind, the neuron cells in our neuron, can connect with the entire universal's frequencies, entire universe. We pray. We are tuned with the nature. Our mind is tuned with the nature to the universal. Anirban Bandyopadhyaya experimentally he did an experiment in the Japan. He found out that he did actually did that can connect the microtubules have the power to connect with the neurons, have that power to communicate or connect with these frequencies of the universal frequencies. So that is the thought, maybe thought consciousness coming from the is quantum phenomena of microtubules in the neurons and the kind of a quantum phenomena. So you understand this is a quantum physics is going to take us. It's not a classical. Actually, nature is not a classical. Damn it, he said. Richard Feynman. The nature is actually quantum itself. So we are figuring out nowadays. Let me bring Dr. Mathur and ask him. Dr. Mathur, welcome back. What do you think of your presentation and anesthesiologist?
No, thank you for sharing all your knowledge about quantums. And I actually did do training for quantum programming a couple of years ago. It just is a fascinating field. It is evolving very quickly, and I'm blessed to be at Cleveland Clinic, which does have a quantum computer, rather the first one for quantum in healthcare. And truly, it is very exciting times, and we're hoping that we can learn how to use them in the best possible way to improve humankind.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be the future of the. We will learn what do you think of the in the anesthesiology or in the critical care, how we are going to save? What are the future of AI? What kind of a role AI is going to play on Dr. Mathur in the overall healthcare in the future?
Yeah, I think especially in our field, we are immersed in a lot of real-time data. And some of that real-time data, we are able to interpret it very quickly. Some of that, we are only able to interpret it after some time. So, how do you take all these different data streams and just like our mind does, how do you analyze them and have a real-time analysis going on of all the devices and the monitors and the gadgets that are providing all this information? I think that's where AI and quantum computer comes in, that it's going to synthesize all this data into meaningful information. And that's where a lot of work is going on, and that's where the future is for
Yeah.
application of AI.
So yeah, let me bring you back. Sorry that I lost you. Sorry that. Oh yeah. Okay. So you think that the anesthesiology, the device, are there any devices coming up, a new kind of devices? I heard a lot about pharmaceutical industry maybe coming up with the new drugs. But any new devices coming on the anesthesiology side, including like a closed loop technology, which is a best. Both of them are probably closed loop technology is one of them. I think that is the one.
That's right. Closed loop technology is one of them, where it's being heavily researched, especially in Europe. It has been trialed in US too, not with that much success, but I think maybe there needs to be a little bit more research done for the appropriate application of some of these technologies. And that's where there is further research that is going on. And not just about closed loop, but also closed loop precision delivery of medication. So
Yeah.
how can it precisely deliver it for your individualized therapy and individualized benefit?
That is the purpose of the because constantly monitoring and fast enough and catch up the any vital signs changing any parameters of the human body, then immediately change the dosage and all those things, right?
Well, not just that, we're also discovering newer patterns from already existing data that we were collecting. So previously, we used to look at EKG and we used to capture some information out of it, or we used to do retinal exam and we used to capture some information about it. But now with AI, we are able to discover different patterns that exist and capture even more newer information. So to give you an example, now you might be able to look at the retinal exam and be able to tell what the patient's blood pressure might be. You might be able to look at a retinal exam and be able to predict the risk of cardiovascular disease in those patients. So we are discovering patterns using AI that we otherwise would not have done so, and are able to predict different states or different diseases through that analysis.
You are truly a blessing. Thank you so much. You gave a wealth of information, Dr. Mathur. It is a, anesthesiology is a very critical field. When everybody meets, they don't meet their director. So by the time you wake up, you're gone probably, in the surgery, but you're always a director behind the scene. We are always know that we are you're saving our lives.
But
And
we are actually always there from the very beginning till the end. We are always there to take care of our patients.
absolutely. Truly, is there any final message you want to say? Truly an honor and talk with you. Just anything you want to say about your field? 1 second, 30 seconds.
Yeah, no, I would say that these are very exciting times for us. And with these new technologies, I'm very optimistic about a brighter future.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. It's truly an honor and a privilege, sir. Thank you for joining with me.
Thank you. You take care.
Thank you. Bye.